Humans, delighted welcome. It's New Game Plus, episode 47, I guess. Dave is grabbing some ice cream. The rest of us are grabbing the friendship in our hearts. It's been a rough week so far. It's been real shit. But you know what? As I promised last time, I'm going to allow the entirety of this week's intros to just be board games, because I had to break up the board game talk last week. The Spootnik, I went ahead, at your recommendation, I bought Innis. It's waiting for me upstairs outside of my house in a Amazon package. I guess I'm going to add it to the Board Game Cult list of games to play. I don't want to spoil anything.
Wait, Innis?
Yeah, Innis. It's like the Irish version of Twilight Imperium.
But shorter.
Anything is shorter than Twilight Imperium. We're
I was literally
we're
about to
7
say
hours
that.
deep with no clear path to victory for anybody.
I thought that was an Irish joke for a second, but
It's not. It's really not.
Twilight Imperium, but shorter. Yeah, because it's Irish.
Wow.
Did you
Racist.
have you looked at anything about it yet?
Nope.
It's really good.
I'm gonna try to watch the Shut Up and Sit Down review tomorrow, but I've just literally been too busy, consumed with news consumption and life. So Spootnik, I'll admit it. You said you couldn't be trusted and that maybe you would betray me. In fact, I wouldn't say betrayed you, but I would say I made a move to prevent you from betraying me.
I think you made a move to ensure that I betray you.
What? Okay.
I am not positioning myself to betray anyone, and
It's the political though. It's the political side of this game. Is you and your stupid superpower will prevent me from doing anything.
But that's also limited to the number of strategy tokens I have. So if we go
And the
into
number of
political
monies that you have,
affairs-
right? Or no,
it's
is it
just a strategy token.
all right?
And I can
Well,
pop it
I don't
off.
know. I don't want to say
But if
something
I
like I
use
need to
my-
starve you of your strategy tokens, but
I don't think you can, though. I
yeah,
don't
that
think
does
that's
sound
a
like
thing
it'd be
that-
really tough. I mean, the
I don't
only
think
way
that's
I'd
a
be able to
thing.
do it is to tempt you to spend it on other things.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, we're talking about Twilight Imperium 4th edition.
Yeah.
There are 5 of us playing it right now. 4 of us have never played the game before. But I know at least myself and AP have probably watched a multitude of videos and read a lot about the game.
I just read the Shut Up and Sit Down review.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I've been watching. This is a game. It's in its 4th edition. I learned of it when it was in its 3rd edition, I think, or maybe earlier. I can't remember, but I've been wanting to play it for years. But it's one of those games where, I mean, especially with 5, I think it plays up to 6, and
Yes.
we're playing with 5. It is a very long game. And there are a lot of moving pieces and a lot of rules, which adds to the length of the game. But to me, like, I have not felt bored once playing this game. Even when it's not my turn, I'm not necessarily doing anything. Like, you are forced to pay attention to what is going on. And if you don't pay attention to what's going on, you're going to miss something, and it's going to bite you in the ass.
So I want to add to that by saying I'm keeping a log of all of my secret communications with all the players, and I'm asking everybody to do the same. And I'm hoping that I can put in an incredible amount of editing effort to have those pop up as they would happen on the video, so that everyone knows what secret shit is going on in the background. Because there's a ton of secret shit. Listen, Spootnik, I've heard that you're allied with Kelsa. I've heard that you're about to attack Cotton. I've heard that for sure you're going to be at Mechatol Rex. Like, I've heard 3 things from 3 different people.
Which is astounding to me, because the record will show that I have done or planned none of those things.
I mean,
But
we'll see if the record
we
shows that.
decided as a group. So normally, if you're playing this at a table with everyone there, all of these negotiations and that kind of stuff.
I would
pretty
spend
much
50% of my time
take
in
out-
another room.
But that's the thing, like, generally they take place at the table in the open, and you pretty much have an idea of what's going on with everybody that's playing. We decided that, hey, we're going to have secret chats on Discord and that kind of stuff to add a little bit of intrigue to the game. And I think that that's brilliant. And I think, like what you just said, spending time in other rooms, if you're playing this game in real life with people, I think would definitely add to the flavor of the game.
that's how you play diplomacy, right?
You could do that.
Risk. I've done that
You
as well.
could do that at the same table nowadays with like phones and stuff, like text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
We're doing everything through, well, at least most of us are doing Discord. Cotton and Pondo being in the same room, they just negotiate out loud with each other.
Yeah, they just mute their mic.
Passing notes back and forth underneath the cam so no one sees.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good game. It's super fun. It was funny too. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but like days before you said that you were going to do not only the board game show but play this game, I had just told my wife I was watching the Shut Up Sit Down review of the 4th edition, the new one.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, this is just a game that I've always wanted to play and I'll never get to."
So someone sent me that review on January 7th. It was big food stuff. And I was like, yep, they're really selling me on a super long, super political game. This sounds like me 100%, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get it together. And then Lexi was like, I'm not going to be able to play Pokemon for weeks, if not months. And I was like, that's it, board game cult.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would love to play in every board game night with you every Monday, but I can't keep up Mondays and Wednesdays during the week like that.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to play board games forever, but let's finish this game at least.
If you turn into a series, I've got a name for you.
Yeah, the name is Board Game Cult, but go ahead, hit me with it.
Cardboard Kool-Aid.
Ooh, that is good.
Maybe that's like the board game
season 1
Cardboard Kool-Aid.
Wait, but you don't want to drink the Kool-Aid.
You do if you're in the cult.
In the cult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I got a good one and I share it. Most of the
Spootnik
other
and I
times
are
it's
in the
bullshit.
cult, so we immediately jump to that conclusion. Spootnik,
Join us.
let's do your intro, and then let's talk about what your favorite board game is, and we'll just get everybody's favorite board game tonight.
Okay, well, yeah. So I'm Spootnik. It's been a busy week. Our clothes dryer died, which sucks. And we had someone come out to give us an estimate on how much it would be to repair it. And for $50 more, we're just getting a brand new dryer because that was ridiculous. My wife.
How much does a piece of string really cost to fix, though? You know what I mean? Like well, I don't understand that.
Sadly, we don't have a piece of string hanging from our house or whatever in our yard. So,
It's also
and as busy as we are, we do not have the time to wait for stuff to air dry.
It's also freaking February.
True. Although today it was 72 degrees, but also raining. It rains a lot where I am in the wintertime, like a lot. So that's coming on Friday. My wife bit the bullet the other day and actually went to a laundromat to do all of our laundry, which was amazing. Because of course, you don't realize that the shit's broken until it's laundry day. And when it's laundry day, well, you need fucking clothes. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to her from work on like Monday or Tuesday, like, how the fuck, like, I'm running out of work clothes. I have one more day of clean underwear left. It's been like a week and a half. What are we going to do? So she did that, which was awesome.
You could do what most people do and just throw their dirty clothes in the garbage and buy new things all the time.
Oh, Jesus. No.
Instead of like leaving it to dry on like some sort of apparatus that is set up to dry things, like weird.
Dude, our dryer was out in the fourplex I live in. I looked up like getting one of those fucking dryer saddle things where you can just like hang your clothes on.
Yeah, a horse.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get one for less than $75.
Wow.
Fucking
you could build one cheaper than that.
I could have built one cheaper than that, but also I don't have any building supplies, so that would probably end up being more.
Yeah.
You just need a hacksaw and a hammer.
So wait, it's more. It's easier for people to buy a fucking dryer than it is for people to buy a $30 piece of plastic that folds out.
well,
and
they're
you set it
not-
up.
Yeah.
Well, they're not common in North America, so
Yeah, it's
you
not.
would.
First of all, it's not common. Second of all, like
Plus, he's also talking about Canadian pesos, so it's not worth as much as anybody else.
I don't use fabric softener in the washer, so when you air dry things, they feel stiff and cardboardy, and I fucking hate it. They get all wrinkled. Now I gotta iron all my clothes. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Only
like I
air
can,
dry.
Really, I
shirts.
think maybe I've just had bad dryer experiences in my life, but every time, like hanging clothes out de-wrinkles them for me rather than putting them in the dryer. And maybe dryer technology has gotten better, but I always remember shirts getting smaller and all that sort of shit in dryers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They
stuff
only
like that
they
too.
shrink the first time, but after that, it's.
But and the thing is too, it's like I have a lot. Like I throughout the week I will accumulate like a good two full loads of laundry that I have to do. What do I got to do? Buy 17 fucking drying racks to hang all that shit up so it dries?
Well, plus it depends. Like if you have like denim and stuff, that's gonna take twice as long. There's a whole fucking thing.
But so anyway, it's getting delivered Friday, so we'll be back in Dryer Town, which will be nice. But
Yeah.
it was unexpected events, which was kind of annoying, but that's all right. And then so favorite board game is Twilight Struggle. That's my favorite one. Graham and I still on occasion will play that game against one another, and I have yet to beat him in it.
The guy's nuts about that game.
It's a fantastic game. It's a game where basically it's based on the Cold War. One player plays the U.S., the other plays the USSR, and it's basically a war game, but it's like war game light. It's card driven. You have early war, mid war, and late war, and you have these cards that have values on them, and you can use that value to either place influence on the board, or there's an event on the card, and the event, when you play a card, that event will trigger if it's for the opposite side. So like a lot of times you are forced to play an event card that is beneficial to your opponent, and it's all about mitigating that and deciding when to play what card. And it's a super fantastic game. I mean, absolutely incredible. I absolutely love it. Highly recommended. And it's a game where the more you play it, obviously the better you get at it, because you start to know, okay, these are the cards that are in the deck. These are the cards I have in my hand. Those are the cards that have already been played. So I know that he has those cards in his hand. So obviously it takes playing it a bunch of times to get to that point. But man, when you get to that point with someone else, with another opponent, like I am with Graham, the game just goes from being a really, really good game to an absolutely incredible experience. And I don't think one that has been topped by any game that I've ever played. So I love it.
AP took the glasses off without telling a joke. Oh, he's also muted.
I got halfway through telling the joke, but
Oh,
I might have been muted when I was telling the joke. Now that I think
You
about
were.
it.
probably, yeah.
But I started out, and then people started talking, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait for the second half. What I said was, I guess it's a real, and then I waited minutes, and then ended with struggle.
Wow.
Yep, I know.
It's really good. And actually, so Graham and I used to play it on a program called Vassal, which is definitely
Wow.
Man, we used to play we used to play Poor Hammer on Vassal before
What is
TTS
this,
was a thing.
1999?
Yeah, well, I mean, a really, and I couldn't imagine, honestly, I couldn't imagine playing on like Tabletop Simulator because there's just so many little chits and everything that you got to manage. But there is a version of it on Steam now which does all that stuff for you, and it works really well. We play it on Steam now,
Wow.
so it's super good. It is.
I'm gonna look that up. Is that a standalone thing or is that through some program?
No, it's a standalone. It's not through Tabletop Simulator or anything. It's just its own thing. It's also on you can get on iOS and Android and all that stuff too. But yeah, it's really, really good. If you ever want to do a 2-player board game cult game, I would recommend that one. Yeah, I would say
very positive, 1,000 reviews. Damn, I mean, I've seen people play that game before. Never played it myself.
Yeah,
it definitely seems like one of those games where it's just like, God damn, how are you keeping track of this? The fact that it's on a PC and people can keep track of it is
it does all the keeping track of it for you. Now, I have played it in real life. I have a physical copy of it, and the upkeep and whatnot can be frustrating if you are just starting to learn how to play. But I mean, I will say on BoardGameGeek, on BoardGameGeek.com, I think it was the #1 game for something like 3 years running. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it still is, unless it's being taken over by
Gloomhaven. Kickstarter game took it over, but I think it's still at least in the top 5. I don't know. I haven't looked at the rankings in a while, but for years it was the #1 game on BoardGameGeek, which is a pretty big feat. That's pretty incredible. But anyway, that's all I got.
Did you just turn me into a fucking rat?
You're the rat, motherfucker.
You're a rat.
Damn.
About to change your name on Discord to Rat Henley.
Fine. I'll change your name to APGamingREAL.
I just observe on your Discord. I never say anything, so no one will ever know.
I'll change it for you on yours. Booyah. Got him.
Drumurboy, how are you doing this week, and what's your favorite board game?
It's been a weird week. It's like a week of all the projects that I'm currently on are out of my hands, and the few that I do have are in the stage of they were good when they started, and now you're realizing that you're too ambitious and you feel like shit. Creative stuff. If you ever seen those memes going on Twitter, that's like, hey, this is pretty cool. Oh man, this is really hard. Everything is bad. This is shit. I'm shit. And then it curves back up into being done and good. I'm at the crux there.
Okay.
But watching a whole bunch of the roleplay Star Wars show because I'm writing a Star Wars tune for them next. And I haven't watched any of it, so I got 15 hours of VODs to go through. Watch a whole bunch of Amazon stuff because we didn't play last week, did we?
No,
nope.
We didn't.
I watched Undone on Amazon Prime. It's it's live acted, but it's also rotoscope paint over. So it's got a cool art style. I understand why they did it though, because it's a small studio and the effects that they wanted to do with that. It's a time paradox show, and I'm all about time paradoxes. So.
What was that? What was that Keanu Reeves movies where they did that? And they had
A Scanner Darkly.
Scanner Darkly. How close is it to that?
It's not that. It's more painted over. They shot the show with the real actors, but then they also went in and outlined them and colored them.
Isn't that how they did it for Scanner Darkly as well though?
I think Scanner Darkly was rotoscoped.
Because they had Robert Downey Jr. in it and all that stuff in there too. So
it was more digital effects. This one was actually looked like painterly effects.
Oh, so they keyframe animated on top of it. Jesus, fuck that.
It's a very weird mix I've not really seen before, but it's really cool. It's almost like if you mashed together a time paradox into a Life is Strange story, but you made it older. That's what Undone is. And it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Favorite board game? I have a favorite, but then I have a most played. Favorite
Sure.
is like I think favorite is Blood Rage when I played that in
Fuck yeah, dude.
I don't know what
That's
that
a
is.
good one. It's a
That
good
was-
one.
that was the Viking build a clan, the world is ending, like Ragnarok is happening and you have to
It's real fucking good.
and then the most played is Risk because my dad and my whole family
Wait,
is like
legacy or normal?
normal. They're old school.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, man who takes Australia wins the game.
That's right.
Single-handedly the most powerful continent.
Yep. And whoever can like, if you get Australia and then go over to South Africa and kind of hold the middle, you're just fucking in it. Our version of Risk had like, we didn't even have like the men and the soldiers and the cannons. We had triangles and like star shapes that stood like houses, kind of thing. Old school.
My personal favorite, there's a picture of some guys from Desert Storm who were playing Warhammer 40k, and they made it like some tankers. They made all of their own little pieces out of just various like loose change, nuts, bolts, all that sort of stuff that represent
Yeah.
various units. They were playing on a pizza box or something.
Yeah.
Listen.
I watched Annihilation. Hadn't seen that before.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Another kind of weird.
Was that the one where with
From Natalie Portman.
Yeah, that was
Natalie
pretty
Portman
interesting.
and the
Yeah.
Shimmer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. I mean, there's nothing that really was like, it was like, yeah, I can't say anything bad about it. Yeah, it was a cool idea, but I can't like really, it's not one of those movies where I don't ever think about it unless somebody mentions it.
It never
Yeah.
got like, it's not a blockbuster movie. It never got
Right.
like super
It's
hype at any
solid.
point.
Solid
just-
is the word I would use for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a solid movie, but it's not, I'm not putting it on my list of favorites or anything.
Because I kept on getting that and Arrival mixed up.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
two
yeah,
movies that I
yeah.
want to see. I've been looking for Arrival everywhere, and the only place I can get it is I can rent it on Amazon Prime for like $2.99 for whatever. It's not streamable anywhere for me in Canada.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I
Canada
think
gets
it's free in
shit.
US Amazon.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to find a way to find a VPN that's not blocked that you don't have to pay out the nose for.
Mhm.
That's what my ex would do. She would just bring like extra hard drive space whenever she'd come visit and just download all of the shit possible to take back to Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, just playing a lot of League of Legends has a new card game out. It's Legends of Runeterra. It's like a almost exact middle ground between Hearthstone and MTG. So it's interesting.
Legends of what?
Legend of Runeterra. So been playing a bunch of that. It's fairly easy. It's like about as easy as Hearthstone, but it's got a lot more mechanical depth to it. So if you're looking for something to throw some time at, and you like trade CCGs and deck builders, then that's a way to go. It's free to play.
We've been getting a whole lot of CCGs sent to us as a publisher lately. Like we had one recently, which was a Call of Cthulhu CCG, which actually looked pretty good. But every time someone comes to us with like, "Yep, hey, publisher who has money, we're looking for you to publish our free-to-play CCG," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. Let me get right on that. Give you a bunch of money." It's very hard to monetize that sort of stuff, so I'm not entirely sure.
Unless you're Riot or WotC.
You have to come in with a huge audience first and foremost to do that.
And Cthulhu is not going to be like the people to latch onto that and spend.
I don't
money on
know. You haven't
packs.
seen the current Cthulhu controversy. People are melting their whole lives down over it.
Why? What happened?
They've lost their fucking minds. So, Evil Hat Publishing was like, we're going to publish a Call of Cthulhu game where you are sent from a future where Cthulhu has fucked everything back to the past, and now you must stop Cthulhu. So, basically, it's a Terminator game of Cthulhu.
Cthulhu Judgment Day. Yeah.
And it came out that they were trying to make a Terminator game and they couldn't get the license, so they transferred it over to Call of Cthulhu, which they already owned a license for. And everyone was like, this is ruining the mythos! They just want to make money!
I mean, nothing wrong with making money, man.
Nothing wrong with making money, but they're like, the purity of the vision of the creator of the mythos. And I'm like, the purity of the vision of the creator of the mythos was that the yellow Chinaman should stay back in yellow China land. He was all about purity, just not the kind that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about that, but you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a cat. He
I
has
was
a
about to
cat.
say, let's wait for the cat's name.
Yeah.
And this for me, this is way worse than the racial purity stuff. He wrote himself into several of his stories as a self-insert. It's
Yeah, like Twilight.
ugh. Listen, you cannot. That's the lowest form. It's not even a choose your own adventure. I mean, that's fine.
You know what this racist elder's horror needs? Me. Wow.
Cthulhu was all like, "Man, you're looking real buff today." H.P. Lovecraft and H.P. Lovecraft said, "I'm glad you noticed, Cthulhu. Thanks."
Let me flex on you real
Also,
quick.
do you like my new cat ears? They're cool, huh? Like, yeah, that's real dope, H.P. Lovecraft.
First
Sweet.
off, listen. Don't diss the cat ears. I have cat ears within arm's reach. Why you gotta come at cat
Yeah,
ears?
but you're not writing a novel series where Cthulhu compliments your cat ears.
Oh,
That's the
my
difference,
apologies.
so.
That's true. I guess you don't know about the secret novel I've been compiling of all. It's Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, but it's all of my shows are each their own planet. I've been working on it for years. I think in maybe 20 or 30 more years, I might release book 2.
And then
Nice.
finally, Tarnax Lamonochrome shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm Tarnax Lamonochrome GameGeek. He's the self-insert in your universe.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Tarnax Lamonochrome. That's definitely it.
It's either that or Glimo. Pick one.
Else, Glimo is not me. Glimo is 100% Glimo.
I think it's you in wizard form.
Dude, you think I'm just gonna walk up to you and be like, "Hey guys, wanna have fun? I'm here to
Yes.
teach children magic."
Oh,
Also, I'm completely ruled by a single. Oh wait, no, that was the other guy. Sorry.
Oh, you're talking about Aardvark. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting my dudes mixed up here. Sorry, my dudes.
there's one thing before I pass the torch.
Yeah.
There's a movie being made starring Nicolas Cage as Florida Man.
Wow. How does that even work?
I don't know, but I'm excited.
I mean, have you
Hang
seen
on,
half of his movies?
Is he a single person called Florida Man?
Single person named Florida Man, big bushy beard, and they're trying to like wrap the news stories of Florida Man. That's more of a symbol. It's like Batman, but
So is he going to be Hitchcock? Is that basically what this is?
I have no
like
idea.
he's
I
like
just-
a rampaging superhero? Because
I don't
if
know.
that's the case, I'm into it. Because that is a good fucking role for that man.
The article didn't go too in depth with it, just like Nicolas Cage and Florida Man. But I'm already into it. Like that's gonna
So
be a
the-
train wreck, and I'm into it.
The only reason, if I remember correctly, that Florida Man exists is because in Florida they're allowed to report on the news in such a way
Yes, they're
that
one of the
Correct.
few states
it
that are allowed
exists.
to report
Yeah.
it.
See, what other people don't understand is we have many Florida men that we keep as like town jesters to keep people away from us. We have adopted the crazies to keep other crazies away.
Is there
Specifically
a
Californians?
Is there a D&D campaign where you're in fantasy Florida, you fall through the ground into a chamber of cloned Florida men?
And before you start the game, you roll on a table of mystery that's like 100 pages long to give you a Florida Man like power.
No, you see what you have to do is you have to roll to see how strong your starting meth addiction is.
Oh yeah, you roll a D100, and then out of that, there's 100 Florida Man articles, and that's your backstory. Whatever.
But
you roll.
the thing is the stronger your meth addiction, the more the more meth you have to consume. It's terrible, but at the same time, it's almost like being a barbarian raging. You get damage resistance. It's kind of how that works.
Anyway, I'm done with my.
I can break these cuffs.
I'm
You
done with
can't
my
break
intro.
these cuffs.
Someone take this from me.
Atomic.
Take it.
Atomic, what do you got going on, and what's your favorite board game?
Well, I'll start with my favorite board game, which is called Coup, because I don't play that many board games.
My man. All right.
You can't say that every time, Henley. You can't be like, what a great board game. Literally the best board game.
So I haven't played. There's an expansion for Coup. There's an expansion for Coup that adds a tons of like 20 something rolls. But for those who don't know, Coup is everybody's dealt 2 cards, and they're like 5 or 6 rolls in the game. But you don't know what anybody else's card is. There's like, what is it?
There's like
governor,
so
the
for the number of people you have +3 cards, I believe it is. So.
Yeah.
What game is it?
It's called Coup.
Coup.
Oh, Coup.
And and you essentially, you can either like what you do, like it's based on the cards, or what you can do is based on each of the cards can perform a specific task or block another card from doing a specific task, but you don't know what cards the other people have. So they can bullshit, and you can call them out on their bullshit. And then essentially the entire point of the game is to assassinate / coup every other player in the game. Because once you lose your 2 cards, you're out, and it's to be the last player.
Yeah. So you build money. You build money, and when you get 10 coins, I want to say
you can do it at 9. Yeah, you can do it at 8 or 9, or no, you can do it at 7, but you're forced to do it if you have more than 7, I think, or maybe if you have 10, you're forced to coup another player. There are ways to block that, and so they can, bullshit and say I block with this or whatever, and you can call them out on that bullshit. However, if you call them out and they are correct, you lose a card. You can say like I assassinate this person, like a countess can block an assassin, so they can say I block with my my countess or whatever, and then you can say be like you can either buy that and then back off, or you can call them out on it. But if they're correct, you whatever. It's a pretty good game of bullshit that it can go pretty quick. I like playing the lightning round style where you just go as quick as possible because it's just fucking chaos.
Mm-hmm.
There's an expansion though. Is it Reformation or something? It adds like 25 additional rolls. It's essentially just like a super crazy advanced version of the game. I've never played it though.
But Coup is so old that you can literally print and play that game. Like that's how old it is.
The rules are super simple. Like you can teach them to play that game in maybe 2 minutes or less. It's really easy, and it just comes down to it's almost one of those games where you can kind of, if you know the people super well, it might not be as great because you can kind of learn their tells or whatever. But I think it's a pretty good game. It goes pretty quick, and it's not too overly complicated. But outside of that, because like I said, I don't play a lot of board games because I spent most of my life in bumfuck nowhere, Alabama. I've just been sick, and then looking at gun stuff because I want to do 1,000 for 1,000 build, which is 1,000 yards for $1,000, because we might have a buddy that'll let us shoot on their property, so we'd have like 1,500 yards of unobstructed sightline. I'm like, so kind of thinking about doing that, but pretty much just my pancreas is trying to kill me again, which is fun. And that's pretty much about it. I've just been sick all week. I spent most of my week in the bed, other than hopping on to do like Pondo's game and then the game Saturday and stuff. So it is what it is.
I talked today about my local gun range that I go to.
Yeah.
Is recruiting ground for the Base, which is a neo-Nazi white supremacist. They were assembling automatic rifles. They were smuggling Canadian special forces illegally across the border so that they could go on a killing spree and take out Maryland and Delaware politicians. So now I know why I always feel really uncomfortable when I go there, and people are just like, "Hey, how you doing, pal?"
Yeah, I've never. I'm
just like, don't talk to me while I'm at the gun range.
Oh, one thing I did learn is that, and it's kind of relative to this game because it's come up before, succubus and incubus it's role. It has nothing to do with male or female.
Well, I mean, in 5e, they changed it so they're shapeshifters. Gender means nothing to them.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that like incubus is essentially a top and succubus is essentially a bottom. It has nothing to do, like if you go from the Latin origination. So I'll see.
I'm not going to have this discussion.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I'll have this discussion with you.
No, we're good.
Succubear, means to lie under, and incubus means to lie on. It has nothing to do with.
All right, you're talking historical context of the word. I mean,
a concubus is someone who's versatile, apparently.
A switch. You're calling them a switch, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Dave, let's just. Favorite board game, how's your week?
All right, favorite board game. Like the board game I keep coming back to the most, without a doubt, Seven Wonders. Hands down. It's a fantastic game. It's a great game to teach someone.
I've never heard of any of the 4 that these people have listed.
Seven Wonders is Arthur. If you play board games personally in person, Seven Wonders is the fucking shit. It is real good. It's basically
you need at least 5 to 6 people, I think.
You can get away with 4. You can get away with 4 because
don't you still have to do a dummy hand with 4?
No, with 4, like, because the way that it works is you only imagine you're a civilization like Egypt or whatever.
I imagine I'm the entire civilization of Egypt now.
So basically, you're starting at the very beginning of civilization.
Okay. Beginning of Egypt civilization. I am literally the sun. Okay, let's go from there.
So the idea is that you have neighbors, and if you're playing with this is why it's important to play with 4 people, because if you play with 3, you're playing with everyone at the table. But if you play with 4, you can play with you play with your 2 neighbors and you never play with the guy across from you, basically. So if you want to evolve your civilization, everyone draft, you do a draft of cards, and they have technology, they have science, they have all that sort of stuff on them. And the idea is that there's a civilization track which you need to have certain amount of materials or goods in order to get. So basically, you're building an army, you're building up your material base, you're building up your technology, and at the same time, let's say that you want to build a marketplace for whatever reason. If you don't have the materials you need, you can trade with your neighbor, but you can only trade with the stuff they have. So if they have the amount of wood that you need, that's great. You give them coins, and then your neighbor on your left will have the missing stone that you have, and then you pay them, right? But if neither of them have what you need, you can't build the marketplace, sort of thing. So you have to make up for what your neighbors are missing and build your own technology. It's real fucking good, but it's literally just a card drafting game with inventory management, and it's very quick. It's 40 minutes to beat the whole game, but it's fantastic. I love it a lot. I also picked up I have just fucking stonks of board games, just tons of them. But the all time that I keep coming back to every single time that I need to play a game, Splendor.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of this either.
Splendor is a gem. A gem. What would you call it?
It's like a set collecting game, basically.
Yeah. So the idea is that you need to get to 15 points, and in order for you to get 15 points, you have to buy cards with a numerical value on them. But in order to do that, you need to have a certain amount of gems in your inventory in order to trade your gems for those cards. Every time that you build a gem, it counts as that you have that gem permanently. So if you build a red gem, for example, you will have 1 red gem permanently in your base that you can trade with. But then there's also temporary gems where you take I'm going to take 4 onyx from the store here or whatever, and you only can do 1 thing a turn, and there's inventory of cards, and basically The trick of the game is to watch what your opponents are doing and make sure you either block them or get your stuff done first. It's real cool. It's a real good game. Definitely. Like whenever I have friends come around, it's always like, hey, you got 20 minutes? You want to play around a Splendor? It's like, yeah, cool. And that's pretty much it. And the board game is real nice too. It's like perfectly made and very lightweight. It's just a joy to play that one. So one. 7 Wonders and Splendors. Yeah.
And just so you know, 7 Wonders does have 7 Wonders Duel, which is a fantastic 2-player game as well, which basically condenses 7 Wonders down for 2 players, and it's really, really good.
Yeah. I still think 7 Wonders is like the base game is way good too, but you know, I'm not much of a head-to-head kind of guy. If I was going to do like a head-to-head game, I would pick something like Star Realms or something like that. Is a good head-to-head game as well. So, but yeah, what's new? Just mostly still making the porn games and stuff like that. It's still a joy to do that stuff. Like I wake up every single day like excited to get into work because working in sort of like a public forum on the porn stuff is like super gratifying. Like most times when you release like video game development stuff to the public, like if it's safe for work, a lot of people are just like, okay, cool, whatever. But when you do it with porn stuff, there's a lot more like feedback. There's a lot more enthusiasm, like just across the board. It's just more interesting to work in that space, which is a weird thing to say. But some of the stuff that I've been working on lately is like, okay, I realize now that we don't have any like sound effects for, you know, the sex acts and stuff like that. It's very difficult to find someone who can make that stuff. And the people that do make that stuff, they make good ass fucking money. So it's a very interesting industry to be in because it's filled with a lot of people that just make do. So you know how sometimes, and Drumurboy, you could probably attest to this, but you probably hear the same like sound effects in a lot of cases, or the same riffs, or the same like music tracks, like royalty-free tracks being used, or the same sound effects and
same 9mm gunshot noise on every TV show ever.
Yeah, or the Wilhelm scream. Like you just start to pick that stuff out.
I can save you thousands of dollars, Dave. Go out, buy a cup of yogurt, take the thing off, put it really close to the microphone.
Wow. It's not that though. It's definitely a lot more than that. But you know, this, like, for example, and part of what he does is like the guy that we're bringing on here, and maybe this is something you should look into too, Andrew, if you want to like sort of expand your repertoire a bit. But his entire job is to come into a game and just sort of fill it with music and sounds, basically. So not just so much.
So he's a saxophone artist. Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I'm going to come in and do background music, but he's also going to come in and be like, what does this sound like when I hit this button on the menu, sort of thing. Like he does a lot of that sort of work.
That works out really well if you already have if you've done the pre-work of like building an archive of your own sounds that you can just like pick and plop in. Whereas if I was going to do that, I'd be starting from scratch, and that's a huge amount of work at the beginning, which I'm not.
I would assume so. Yeah.
I'm not in a position to do right now.
But you know, that sort of work. Like if you were to drop your skill set into the adult-only development community, people would just be like, "Yep, I'm gonna fucking hire you, like to do a week's work, and I will give you thousands of dollars."
Probably.
Like, it's there's some stuff in there for sure. Also, you would get stupid popular on Twitter as well, because the amount of people that are just like animation by this dude and voices by this girl and sound by this dude on like multi-thousand retweet just like 10-second videos is absolutely fucking insane. Like there is so much shit like that going on.
I don't know if I'd want that on the Twitter account that I have now though, because that's like more
Drumurboy After Dark.
Yeah.
Well, like my goal is just to like make music and make a moderate living off of that. Like I probably could drop myself into the adult industry and do sound and just do the stuff that I have been working at for a while, but like I don't know. It'd have to be something I'm passionate about, because I've learned that if I go into a product that I'm not passionate about, I do not give enough of a fuck to make it good. And that's not what I want to be.
So, I mean, the chat is talking about like, I don't know people who buy those sorts of games. Here's the thing. The moment you buy one of those games on Steam and you see who of your friends owns this game, you will be very surprised. I can honestly say that. Like the amount of people that are just like, oh, I didn't expect this dude to buy those sorts of games. There we go. That's very interesting.
I learned a lot about Sid Alpha one day.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where like there is a whole hidden community on Steam. Like most people don't know this, but if you go into your preference settings on Steam, you can actually turn on adult only content, and your Steam will just literally open up like a flower. If you turn that on, there is so much content that you're just not seeing because of it. Like previously, most of the adult games.
Is that why when I search for stuff, sometimes there are several games hidden in this search?
Yep.
Okay.
Basically,
they have certain flags.
All right.
And the other thing that's worth pointing out is like before last year, like this is literally like an invention from last year. Yeah, most adult games, and the ones you probably run into are those games that have like the free DLC pack that add back in the nudity to the game, right? So if you turn on the adult only stuff, you'll see the realm that I'm sort of working in, which is very sparsely populated, but with tons of eagerly awaiting customers. So, it's a big industry for sure, but it's also a small industry, but it's a lot of people are spending a lot of money there. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that one girl raised like $500,000 or $1 million just with
closer to $1 million.
Sending people pictures of herself.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Australian wildfire?
For Australia, yeah. Like people want to see that stuff, and
people thirsty.
It's true.
Yep. The other thing is too, we released a prologue free game of Outer's Blood on Newgrounds, and it like fucking stormed the front page, and it's sitting there for the last couple of days just on the front page, which is really good. So if you want to go check that out, you can play that in your browser and get an idea of what the game's going to be like. It's doing really well, all things considered. That'll be coming to Steam like next week sometime. But yeah, that's pretty much me. What about you, Arthur? What's your favorite board game?
I don't know that I have one yet. Most played is almost certainly Lords of Waterdeep, though.
Lords of Waterdeep is good, though.
Played it many, many, many times. The game is almost entirely random, though. It's pretty difficult to intentionally win.
So that board game is called Worker Placement, and there are better versions of that game available for sure. Like,
yeah, but it's not D&D enough.
Well, that's the thing. The theme with worker placements generally are all kind of samey, but it's you want to go with what theme you like,
Mm-hmm.
Lords of Waterdeep does have theme in spades.
Oh man.
Yeah, there are some expansions for that make it better, but then there's also some expansions that make it really bad too.
The Olympic Village game could totally be a worker placement.
Oh man, listen, I'm looking.
Oh,
Japan.
did you see that? Who was it? One of you guys linked the article about the cardboard beds or whatever.
Yeah.
Like cardboard beds in the Olympic Village being able to sustain themselves.
One of my favorite
intercourse.
things about that is somebody on Reddit, one of those, like, if they did the math people, it was like, if they use this type of cardboard, whatever, it's like the force of two people doing is just somebody broke the math down, like the physics. It was fucking golden.
You assume there's only going to be two people.
Yeah, but it's just the fact that somebody was doing the math behind it. I was just like,
yeah,
it's like I would give the man that did that a handshake, because damn, did he go in depth with that.
Maybe you don't want to shake his hand. I don't know.
Maybe, but I'll wear gloves. I got nitrile gloves. But yeah, I love it when people do the math for stupid shit like that. It's a beautiful thing.
There was that whole, like, they did the math segment on Workaholics of how to jerk off an entire room.
Oh, that was no, that wasn't that
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley,
yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
How quickly could you jerk off an entire room filled with dudes?
Yeah.
So tip to tip, like.
There's a
that was a real
clip
funny segment. Yeah.
We'll link the YouTube clip to you in Discord there, AP.
I guess
It's a bunch of nerds and TJ Miller doing the math on how to jerk off like a room filled with dudes. It's quite
like
funny.
A bribe. Yeah.
not the kind of content I subscribe to, honestly.
It's still pretty funny.
All right,
Scene.
I'll take a look. Seems like I might have to struggle.
They brought in who is it they brought in from what university to actually do all the stuff behind it, like all the math and everything? I can't remember. They brought some engineers and stuff in on it or something. It was fucking hilarious.
Man, what can I say about this week? It exists.
You're still in one piece. I heard you took a nasty fall and then a car hit you.
Yeah. It hit me at like half a mile an hour. So
this is where the Hollywood movie begins, right? The Hollywood Christmas movie begins at this point, where your life turns around because of an unexpected accident.
I bet you're wondering how I got to this point.
This is not a Hallmark movie.
See that guy getting hit by the car right now?
That's me.
That's me. I bet you're wondering how I got it.
My life has already been turning around or something. For the last 3 weeks, I've been working my way down into a very calorically limited diet. My personal trainer was just like, you can't eat not this much. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then they were like, all right, I'm setting your app. You have to eat at least this much. And there has to be all of this stuff. No, less fat, more of this stuff. And I was like, well, I don't put my daily multivitamin in there. And she's like, okay, well, just eat whatever you want then. But not this much fat. You have to stop eating cheese. So now I have a whole list of things. I check my blood pressure every 2 days. I've become old. And withered. And not just old like I was pre-3 weeks ago. Now I'm real old. Like
Don't
one
worry,
step in the grave.
It after about 2 weeks, you won't even notice the change in your diet, to be honest with you.
It's been
Like,
3 weeks, Henley. I
Yeah.
noticed the change. I know.
How much fucking cheese were you eating beforehand?
Look, he was single-handedly propping up the Wisconsin.
It's not just cheese. I mean, there's plenty of other things. I can't eat potassium-based stuff at all, because if I do, it interacts with my blood pressure and my hands get numb, and then my heart could fail at any moment. So my doctor was like, let's have you come in as soon as possible to discuss this. How's 2 weeks sound? And I was like, that's as soon as possible?
My wife is doing a diet right now where she can only eat 600 calories and she can only eat like 30 vegetables that don't include. So we're talking like, parsnips, parsley, like carrots, celery, like, vegetables like that basically. And she is struggling. It's not a diet. It's where they do like a cleanse or
Oh,
something.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah, that's
fast
right.
kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's like a fast cleanse or whatever for 42 days. She fucking hates it. Honestly, every single, and she has to drink like in the morning. She drinks like a glass of warm beetroot juice. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but it's fucking nasty. It's like, you know, it's the gross stuff. I don't know how she does it, but you know, she's at the end of that now, and she's like, you have no idea how eager I am to just eat an egg or a piece of bread, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I went through.
So
I mean, I sympathize, and like I have, because most of my issues are gastrointestinal, so I've been through like every diet permutation under the sun, just trying to see if anything will help or whatever, which none of it has. But I just like when they were like, "Oh yeah, you should just try cutting out bread for a while." I'm like, "Motherfucker, do you understand how many sandwiches I eat?" Like, you know, I go through like a loaf of wheat bread like every 2 to 3 days. Like it's oh god, it's so bad.
That's incredibly high in sodium.
yeah.
I mean,
Here's what you do: swap the bread for lettuce leaves.
No,
There you
don't
go.
do that. That's
Yeah,
so much worse. What you
that's what
do
my
is you
dad was doing.
put all of your meat between 2 fried chickens.
I mean,
Damn right.
What was that called?
Double down.
That was
Double
KFC, right?
down.
Was it a
yeah,
double down?
Yep.
And then I don't know if it was KFC. It might have been like a copycat recipe somewhere down in the south, but they made like fried chicken hot dog buns with a hot dog in it.
yeah.
You missed last night where Cotton was like, in Nebraska, we take 2 Tostino's pizzas and we put them one on top of each other and call it a Tostino sandwich. That's 112% daily sodium in one sandwich.
So that's
probably
like
don't
a
eat the whole thing.
calzone.
Yeah, it's like a calzone. I have become, at the age of 33, 34, I don't know. That uncool guy in every party movie from the late 90s and early 2000s where I'm just like, all right guys, I can't do shots, I'm too old for it now, you know, I got a bum knee, and listen, I can't actually stay over at the house tonight, I gotta get back home to my back pillow. Or tomorrow morning at work I'm gonna be totally wrecked. That's who I've become. I have become that which I have mocked.
This party's going to 9:30. I brought my sitting donut and my 3-gallon tub of water.
Yeah,
You know,
that's who I've become.
The more time we play this game, the more and more I realize that we're literally becoming the cast from a police academy movie.
Wow.
Okay, but the real question is, which one of us is Michael Winslow?
All right, are we ready to get this thing done?
Let's do it.
Previously on this show, there hasn't been an episode in a while. We met a man who's changed all of our lives. His name is Rise Ricolander. He is the lord in charge of the northernmost village of Ricolander. Joining the war camps there, you found it to be disorganized, questionable militarily, strategically useless. You decided that maybe it would be the time to spend 6 days standing around doing, you know, druid science, spreading fertilizer across the land. I assume that
Making fat stacks.
yeah, I was gonna assume that he did it by like interpretive dance, and then as he danced, the rats would move in time around him, and from an above camera, we would see concentric circles of rats
Oh,
moving in
yeah.
opposite directions in the circles.
Mm-hmm. To polka music.
Yeah,
It's like a really disgusting synchronized swimming.
yeah. Joining your team is Haig, a cleric attempting to reform to the time domain, and a certain daughter who is now, you know, still daughtery, but not maybe 3-week-old child, but like a mid-20s halfling adult woman. This game is weird. It is the 29th of Wet. 3 days remain until party time has ended, and your local elven druid and your local barbarian dwarf Both begin to suffer the effects of their horrifying madness. You have your cart. You only have one now, if I'm recalling correctly. It is loaded down with Haig, and I think it's just Haig and all of your shit. And your plan is to head north to the village of Wondersaw and further deeper into the lands of the Demon Lord in order to find the shortest path to the clans of the Flow, the northern orcish human lands.
Mm-hmm.
I miss anything? The horse has not been eating well.
Yeah.
The horse has not eaten the blood of any innocents in a while, and Tugatas is getting very hungry.
It hasn't even been that long, though, has it?
It's been 7 days since he's joined the team.
I mean, do we need to tell him to eat, or like, is he an adult? Can't he figure that out?
No,
for
no.
himself?
It eats regularly, just like small animals and game. But what it thrives on is the souls of the innocent.
We just got to find somebody who's really fucking annoying.
I mean,
where's where's that fucking where's Crotch Wizard when we need him?
Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't need a soul. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Have you seen him? He obviously doesn't have one.
Wow. Well, friends,
could feed the wizard that fed us their spit to
Yeah.
Basara.
Yeah. It's like, who's laughing now, bitch?
You wronged us in another timeline. Meet our demon horse.
It's like, just trust us. Another timeline, you're a bit of a dick.
Yeah, how long does it take to get to the place that we're going?
You have no idea how long it takes to cross Demon Lands. You have no map of it. But if you're asking how long it takes to get to the village, that's about 10 to 15 miles away. Given that you're going over rough terrain, it could take less than a day.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's been 10 days since I used my power last.
It's been less time than that.
It's
been 8 days.
We spent a day in town.
Yep.
And then
a day traveling. Then 6 days
in the camp.
Getting Finley. Right, that's 8.
Okay. So we got 2 more until I can fast travel us. Never mind then. I guess we just pack up and
start traveling.
Unless we were going to try to talk to Rorik and them because they're here, right?
So Rorik stays in Flemia, but the Flemia militia, known as the Knights of Thunder, has arrived. Yes.
If Rorik's not here to talk to, then we may as well.
You see plenty of familiar faces from your 3 years of living there. You just know that none of them know who you are right now.
Right. They might recognize Kelly, though.
Would they?
Because Kelly was still a dragonborn when we were there.
Yeah, as a novelty, yes.
Yeah, because this timeline we haven't spent 3 years there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only like 2 dragonborns in this entire fucking continent. At least I've seen so far.
Oh,
so.
right.
We haven't even reached the far side of the world where the secret magic empire is planning an invasion of this continent.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's get over there then. I love the idea that, we walk through a fog gate and Arthur's like, all right, finally, part 2 of this story begins.
You know how long it took you for part 1 of this story to begin? When you went to the Adventurers Guild. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, man, time to finally dust out all that episode 1 junk. All right, there we go.
Yeah. I thought it was the other timeline because I was still Tiefling Daka during that 3 years. It was
Daka
after
1.0.
that.
Correct.
After that I did the whole whoopity whoop and turned into Stone Man.
Did the whole whoopity whoop.
Yeah. All right. Are we just gonna head to the next town?
Okay. Who's leading this caravan?
I believe I am, because I think I'm the only one with decent survival.
Sure.
I think.
Dave, are you developing Bang, your favorite Twitch streamer, in chat right now? Because there's going to be a lot of copyright on that. You need.
Well, I mean, there's actually like one of the things we're working with is we're talking to models, like Instagram models, to see if they want to sell their likeness.
I mean, you can use the likenesses of people who've been dead plus 75 years. So.
Oh, H.P. Lovecraft. Oh yeah.
But they also have to look like they've been dead for 75 years. Very niche audience,
They just do the Thriller dance. That's the whole game. You do a worker placement game where you attempt to bring more dead up, and it's just dead celebrities from the 20s.
Right. That's right.
That's the 1920s, not the 2020s. No one significant has died yet in the 2020s.
Kirk Douglas died today.
Soleimani? I don't know who Kirk Douglas is.
Spartacus.
Wow. Really?
He was 103.
Which Spartacus?
Jesus.
The Spartacus who played
original
Spartacus on Spartacus died during the filming of Spartacus, right?
No.
Yeah, the Spartacus.
No, that's
So you're thinking of the modern show. He's talking
something.
about the OG Spartacus from like the
golden-
70s.
No.
I don't know anything
the
about
50s.
Yeah,
Wow.
the original movie Spartacus, where that line comes from, not the what was it, HBO?
How about this? Michael Douglas's dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the survival?
Michael Douglas had a dad. Holy
Yeah.
fuck!
That was still alive. Well, not anymore.
So you make your
Still.
way into uncharted lands. Sometime around midday, you roll to the outskirts of what I would call a pastoral village. It's like the Shire, except not all the town is underground.
Wait, nobody of note has died this year? Kobe Bryant, dude.
It's true.
That's the basketball player?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died in a helicopter accident.
Okay.
Him and his daughter and a whole bunch of other people.
Died or went underground?
No.
Blew up in flames, died.
Yeah.
I know, I was making a terrible joke. Don't worry about me. It's fine.
Too soon, man.
I'm more worried about you now. You come to the outskirts of a pastoral village. It's clear that life here is tough. Where everywhere you've been in the Royal Magnar lands has been overflowing with harvest and wealth. Even in the smallest village. Here, it looks like life is tough. Farmsteads are spread out. There's a central location that you're approaching. People have gathered. There's a lot of looking at you, but no one seems to be going for weapons. Devils openly walk. There seem to be 3 devilish, obviously extraplanar entities that are walking around. One of them has like a help stand. Imagine, if you would, the what was her name? Lucy from the Peanuts? Like a psychological help stand that she had set up. Imagine that, but it's like, get whatever you wish stand.
I really want to see a devil lemonade stand, like a little devil child, but it's not lemonade. It's like, I don't know, blood of the innocent or something.
So almost everyone that you see is either half elven, human, or half orc. There are a scattering of tieflings, but there are perhaps less than 1,000 people working or living in this local area. And nearby to this central location of 4 homes and 1 like mayoral residence that seems to also function as a tavern is a kind of combination general store, merchant area / amphitheater carved out of rock, where people are selling local wares and just, like trying to get their knives sharpened. There is also a large board where notices have been posted. As you approach that central area of the village, 2 women are standing in your way. One of them just spits at your feet and walks away like, ugh. The other one says, "Holy warriors, you've come. I know that one day you will come to see that our cause is just, and you won't destroy all of us in your foolishness. I pray for your souls. If I were a praying person, which I'm not, we reject the gods here. I hope that you find peace among us. Everyone here knows who you are. Have no fear. No one will harm you."
How do you know who we are?
The assembly had met several days ago, and the chief assembly spokesperson had briefly spoken about you. Mentioned that you were not to be harmed, and you could pass through at your own rate and your own way. Peace be upon you.
I'm more curious how they knew we were coming.
Well, I mean, we got the get out of jail free card from Stalvin Black, so
Yeah. Well, even then, I mean, even if they did start something, I mean,
no, but like he's the leader of this whole shindig, so
yeah, I guess.
So when you say that, she says, "Yeah, he is the chief assembly spokesperson, yes. We voted him in 80 years ago. He's been extremely helpful at helping to preserve our freedom."
The lady that lost her spittle at our feet. Yeah, what was her problem?
Oh, you are vastly hated by many here, simply because it appears that you will side with the gods and destroy the freedoms that we hold with your foolish decisions. But I have something akin to faith and belief that you will choose the better path and destroy the gods for their hubris.
And they're making this assumption based on.
You have not outrightly allied yourself with the one who will one day crush the gods for their horrifying hubris. Look at our lands. We are not overflowing with life and a bounty of wealth. Other lands which follow the gods' beliefs are blessed. The way nature and life, everything around us works, is affected by these beings whom we must worship and hew our fate to, or we are cast aside, given less than nothing.
They talk about, the land being tied to it. And I'm just like thinking of like what Finley's been up to for like a week. Like,
Do you need any crops?
maybe just need a druid.
Yeah, so she says, "Oh yes, the land here does not grow well. We do not have the blessings of the god of nature or the god of life. It is slow going. Our yields are much lower than others. But it is a free life."
Do you go hungry? Do you get hungry?
She looks at you like, "We are human or human-ish. We are mortal beings here. We hunger. We mostly have enough food to go around. We share, but we have few luxuries."
that doesn't sound very much different from any other humans we've met on the other side, to be honest.
All of the other humans are trying to kill us, however. Every year they bring their armies and stand and they destroy any who would choose to join us, spreading their lies.
They're not trying very hard, I can tell you that.
I can see it put a damper on things, though.
We just want to live on our own, freely as we have chosen, and they wish to continue to rule us.
I was beginning to think this war was some sort of scheme economy, but now I don't know.
Atomic has World War One flashbacks.
Yeah, I mean, when you say that, she nods and says, yes, if you have spoken with any in the South, you would come to such a conclusion. Every year, they bring their troops to stand on our borders and prevent those who have seen our ways in the South from coming, slaughtering them. And every time they take one of our villages from us, they kill all of the villagers so that we may not spread the truth of our ways to those in the South. They enforce religious, she wouldn't say orthodoxy, that's too complicated, but they enforce their religious values upon us. They make our people worship the gods or else.
There are people, Arthur, in the South that don't have faith, right?
I don't know that you've ever met one.
What about like warriors and stuff like that? Is it always goose and goss and that's it? Or is it like there are some that just go along with the flow?
Mean, here's the thing. It's a pantheon of gods. So it's not like anyone is like, one god is better than the other, except for clerics, who that's their job. Their job is to say, this I represent the aspect of this god. And, you know, you've seen different aspects of different gods in different realms, but in Magnar, you have not met many atheists. I don't know if you've ever met any atheists.
Well, it's also, too, the people that we have come across that are very open about what they believe in tend to have been the more warlike type. That's why we were fighting them to begin with, is because, so that's how that's why it would be goose and goes, or, you know, whatever. We haven't really walked around asking, you know, average Joe what their beliefs are.
There will be a assembly tomorrow, one of the local ones. If you'd like to come and listen to people speak about their problems and maybe learn a bit about us, I would feel honored to have you there, and I'm sure none would speak against you.
I'll be able to spare a day.
I mean, yeah, sure, we could. I want to take a look at this bounty board type thing too when we get done with this.
Yes. Here is the bounty board. It has 6 notices posted upon it. I'm going to read it out loud for chat, the audience. Town board 1. Seeking the sword of my grandfather, looking for merchant or expert acquisitions agent to seek it out within the kingdom. 2. 82nd annual cooking contest. Seeking contest begins 25th wet.
What's the date today?
Today is the 28th, 29th wet. It appears like it's still ongoing, like it's a week-long affair. Number 3, Chef Blaum, willing to pay extra for rare meats. The Boar Lord of Freehold, elephant, desert racing lizard, salmon, or lobster. Number 4, Chef Jaif seeks expeditious merchants for halfling spices and seasoning run, haste required. Number 5, Mayor requesting individuals of stout heart and fortitude to report for volunteer service in clearing the Forsaken Cavern of Worms. Number 6, Dwarven Ale, buy 2 mugs, get 1 free at Denneker's tonight only.
What's the date on number 6 then?
Looks like it's every day.
Oh shit! I haven't had a good Dwarven Ale in a while. I like number 5. I like the fighty one, but I also like the drinky one.
Are there dwarves here?
When you look around, you know, I mean, there's perhaps slightly more than 1,000 people. There are several dwarves, but you do notice that many goods here bear dwarven clan markings. Hammers.
I assume it's like when you're in Australia and you go to the bar and there's German beer. Like I just assumed there's going to be dwarvish beer everywhere, right? Like that's
sure, but the thing that you get here is that a lot of their building materials, like wood used to build the houses or stone that has been quarried, all has dwarven clan markings on it as well.
I mean, the dwarves are very industrious, right? I mean, I assume they'll be willing to sell to pretty much anybody that'll pay for it. I mean,
it would seem so.
They're kind of.
They're not involved in this war.
The dwarves are now Switzerland in my head.
Yeah,
they're more like a really aggressive version of America in World War II.
I'm thinking we take some of these quests on. There's some like decent quests, to be honest with you.
Clear a Forsaken Cavern.
Dwarven
Yeah.
Lens Lease. Please, AP, make this a thing. Yeah, I'm definitely down for clearing out the
Forsaken Cavern of Worms.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we haven't had some fightiness.
I mean, that sounds like about 9,500 experience points.
Each.
No chill, huh? No chill.
Number one is one of those things like, I mean, that's a thing that you just take on, and if you come across it, you come across it. But that's not something that's like a long. I mean, we could always take that on, find out what the sword looks like, and just keep an eye out.
When they say kingdom, do they mean like Magnar?
Yes, they mean Royal Magnar.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that we have that sword already.
There's a good chance we've come across it before.
There's a good chance that sword is in the hand of what's her name.
So,
Princess.
I mean, I definitely think we need to take on 1, 5, and then I'm taking on 6 regardless.
I mean, I could probably do second as well.
The quest poster for number 1 is Vice Wondersaw.
Oh, the Vibro sword.
Yes, the Sonic Energy Sword. Jesus.
Wait, haven't we seen that before?
Yes, you escorted Vice Wondersaw to attack this very location once.
No. I mean, haven't we had like a vibro sword that we could buy before?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wasn't there like a Sonic sword?
I have many such. It's a massager.
Oh yeah.
Finley here with that stereotypical manga dialogue. Oh my god.
So, what would the cooking contest look like? Is it just like a skill?
It would be a extended series of checks for success. Do you want to head over to the cooking area and see what's going on?
Please let there be a dwarven Gordon Ramsay.
I mean,
please let there be a dwarven.
While we're here, I mean, I wouldn't mind participating in the cooking contest.
I mean, we want to stay for this meeting anyway, right? I mean,
yeah.
May as well.
So,
like,
Spooty, are we joining forces on this, or are we fighting against each other?
All right,
let's team up. Yeah, I'm into it. It's like, shall I put the poop in the stew? No, no.
It's Kelly, Finley, and an army of Ratatouilles.
That's right. They're controlling our arms by standing.
But it's like no, it's just several rats in Finley's hair.
Please dress. Make it like Hell's Kitchen. Please dress up the rats as little servers. Please do that because the mental image is hilarious.
Little like napkins over their arms.
Like Hell's Kitchen.
One snake is the table. Like just.
Yeah. It's Hell's Kitchen cross Ratatouille cross Pacific Rim. There's like 2 rats that are like.
So when you head over to the area where the cooking contest is happening, it looks like there are a number of foreigners, people who do not wear the kind of clothing the peasant, farmer, local businessman clothing, but like fanciful outfits. Their races vary from full-on orcs to there's at least one giant. Looks like some sort of stone giant has joined in the battle. There are 8 tables that have been set up. Some of the tables seem like they're empty and they have a score that has already been placed on them, so their cooking is done. Some people are out there like doing a stew, and it looks like they've been making the stew for multiple days. There are some people that haven't even begun yet. They're still assembling ingredients 4 days into the contest.
One stern man in a white coat with ram's horns.
No. Stop trying to make this a thing. Overseeing the entire contest is one of the 3 devils in town. It looks like it was a fucking ram or a goat. It was a goat, but now I'm gonna have to change it because you guys are just gonna call him Goat and Ramsey. Got a deer's head and a red body covered with like leather straps, and then it has a like weird human skin skirt and cloven hooves, and it turns to Nas and says, "So, mortals, you wish to join the annual cooking contest. The victor here will be sent on to the assembly."
How much food do we need to make in order to enter?
You must make enough to satisfy any from the village who wish to sup from your meal. Your mic is cut out, drummer. There you go.
I was just saying we're not that popular, so it won't be much.
You would be surprised. There are 1,114 who have so far put their thoughts into each one of these dishes. You may not be popular, but voting is always popular here.
We're a democracy after all.
If it was blind voting, they wouldn't.
Some of these
know.
dishes are so good you would sell your soul to have another one.
Oh, you.
What was that accent?
I don't know.
Okay. This is in character as he's saying it. You don't sound Elven at all.
Oh, my parents, we moved around a lot.
Ah, I see. Yes, the four of you and the cart and the goblin and the girl. Yes, now I understand who you are.
So you've heard of my cooking?
I have not heard of your cooking.
Oh.
But if you wish to enter this contest, the fee to enter is but 1 silver piece, which will buy you a table. You have 6 days remaining to show your dish.
All right. I'll plunk down a silver.
He
We
takes it
promise
from
it's
you,
you.
and it dissipates into a black, oily smoke, and he says, bargain complete. Take table number 10. And as a table appears. Bring your own implements, food, spices, seasoning. Impress everyone.
As we walk towards the table, I kind of look back over my shoulder and say, I feel like you missed the opportunity to make the entry fee 30 pieces of silver.
We make the entry fee low enough that any can enter, but only one can win.
You must be fun at parties. He didn't get to my joke, Kelly.
It's okay.
We don't have Christianity here.
Oh. But you know about it, so you could have gotten the joke.
Yeah.
The two of you step back.
Minded.
You step back from the fourth wall, back into reality.
Right.
The only thing that can harm us physically in this realm is the fourth wall.
So
I am going to injure myself in the process because I know what the answer is. But what are you calling your cooking table? What is the name of your cooking team?
Spicy Boys.
That is not what I thought you'd go with, but okay, Spicy Boys.
wait, what did think you were?
We're not battle juice for everything.
I thought you were going to battle juice.
Oh no.
So which one?
So do we need to then go out and collect ingredients, or how does this work?
Yes, you have to bring your own everything.
Right.
So basically, we have to run out into the wilderness and we have to kill a monster made entirely out of apples and then make our dish around it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can just get some apples.
Come on, man. Let me fight a fucking apple, okay?
Yes,
God.
I've been working on an RPG, a D&D 5e campaign setting that does exactly that. You want me to show you some of them? I'll break off some of the monster art for you.
You know what? Slice me off a couple of monsters that we can cook into this meal, Arthur, as an ad for your upcoming game.
Food
You know what I mean?
dungeon.
This is the Fruit Ninja minigame of the
Sure.
show.
Let's
It's like it's got the texture of steak, but it tastes like apples.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Holy shit, you weren't kidding.
I'm not joking. We even have equipment.
Oh my
All right,
god.
I'll walk you through each of these. Folks at home, here you go. We're about to break up a piece of this. This is a mushroom that harvests other mushrooms, shield made out of mushroom. The top bowl area contains mushroom sauce, so when you kill it, it sauces itself as it dies.
My gosh.
All right.
This is giving me Chirico vibes all over.
Number 2, we got the War Hamlet, retractable fishing spear, shell cracking flail, the root skinner. This is 100% the brilliant punny mind of Sunspirit developed all these fantastic alternative weapons that could be used in a team that must dungeon delve and cook, but needs to maintain a minimum equipment level. We have
shield that's a ball. Yeah.
we got the spaghetti fish. Its blood is marinara sauce, so when you kill it, it turns into, you can harvest it into a salmon pasta.
Is it hot-blooded or warm? Or
Oh, it
cold-blooded?
is warm-blooded. It comes out fresh and ready to go.
Wow.
Hell yeah, dude.
This is done by, I believe this was done by Bearded Jalapeno. And then finally, I don't remember this artist's name, but it is a apple golem. Yeah, Dave wants to kill an apple monster. I got one ready to go. The Braftipal von Walnesus.
Is the female variety of it like candied apple?
I never thought of that, but now it's going to be that.
It's
Friend,
like
I am so ready for a D&D food adventure. That's not even a quarter of what I have prepared. That's just a
talk
little.
to Spooty.
That's a little
Every
bit of a
single
taste.
game that I play in with Spooty, except for maybe the first one, has been like, all right, my dude is a cooking dude.
Yeah.
Last dude I played was like Gorgon Ramsay or something like that, and he was
That's
a half
terrible.
orc.
Everything you just
Yeah.
said hurts me internally.
Ah, it was good, man.
I'm interested.
But
I'm interested to see if D&D can do Monster Hunter but cooking.
Yes, that's what the game is. It's Monster Hunter with cooking. The bosses on each floor let out like paralyzing cries as they move between each area. You can set up traps to trap them so that when they flee from one area to next, you can start out with that. Listen, I'm ready.
And
I'm
just
ready
like
to
Monster
run this.
Hunter, when their leg falls off, everyone jumps on it and goes, ah!
I'm ready to run this. I started developing it after someone got me playing Monster Hunter. Or no, someone got me playing Monster Hunter specifically because I was developing this game. And I'm waiting for a show to end so I can put it in. But I've literally, for a whole entire year, had the same shows the whole time. You guys couldn't just, like, have a real-life problem come up and have the show get canceled? Remember on episode 25, we were like, you guys sure you want to keep going? This is weird for me. I've never done this so long. My first time.
Episode 800, Arthur's just like, come on, guys, please.
Look,
Please.
we're already level 31. You've already redeveloped the gods, okay?
You beat D&D. You won.
We're level 31 like demigods and or gods playing the Monster Hunter food game in game.
No, yeah, we basically create a world because we're so strong, which is the prologue to Arthur's cooking game.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what happens.
Sunspirit just showed up in chat and missed when I was talking about the cooking implement. All right, look. No such monsters exist. No easily carvable mushroom monsters are available in the local area. But you do know there is a monster infestation in a local place called the Forbidden Cavern of Worms. Who knows what tasty and delicious meats you could find there.
I mean,
You know
yeah.
what?
Or
let's
you could
double
just go
up.
hunting and get normal stuff.
Oh no.
Or
No, no, no.
fishing.
We don't do
Normal
normal
won't
stuff.
win.
You can't say
Yeah,
fish. I mean,
yeah.
you've seen Henley fish. I mean, I don't think he's caught anything the whole time.
How
No,
many
last time he
contestants-
fished, he caught stuff.
How many
I caught
contestants?
at 20.
Yeah.
How many contestants are there in this competition?
There are currently 8 tables set up, but you have been given table number 10. You don't know where number 9 is.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We need to stand out. So I think
So
Yeah,
there,
we need-
listen,
we need
there
to
is a
make a worm
performance
dish.
element going on. The giant is like juggling his ingredients, and then
Oh, yeah.
mid-air, he's like drawing a sword, and the ingredient splits in half, and then he juggles the halves, and then and then
So
resheathes the sword in the process.
He's
Now
recently
juggling
played
4.
Fruit Ninja. That's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah, there's more performance than that, but the giant really
I'm-
stands out because he's
so.
50
Should
feet
I like
tall.
stand on the table and make a speech and get everybody pumped up about
Do I
what
do
we're gonna
that?
do?
I was gonna say the giant stands out because he's probably 20 fucking feet tall.
Hit me with your speech, and then let's make a performance check.
All right, so I'll jump up on the table and I say, you've all eaten all of these things that these chefs are that these chefs are preparing for you. We, my dear friend Kelly and I, and those of us here on Team Spicy Boys, we want you to take your mouth on an
Spicy
adventure
Boys.
with all of us.
You hear people
Will be
whispering
spicy.
"Spicy Boys."
There will be boys, and there will be adventure. We will take your mouths on this adventure with us, but we must first grab our ingredients, and our ingredients will be coming from the Forsaken Cavern of Worms.
Forsaken Cavern of Worms. Spicy boys.
Spicy boys out.
Yeah, the other three of us do like a pose.
In your force.
Give
You
me
jump up
also-
behind him, and all three of you are pointing in different directions.
Yeah.
Space Australia.
Oh my god, no,
Oh my
not
God.
that one. Please make a performance roll, Finley.
Can I assist him?
How do you assist him?
I'm
By
posing.
posing?
I'm being.
I'm gonna want
like-
more. I'm gonna want more. Hit me.
What else can I do? Oh, I've got my big bag of like cooking equipment. Or I got like my spice thing on. You know,
Bandolier.
like-
Spice
Spice bandolier.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being on your character sheet, but sure. I love the idea that you whip it out and like you whoosh, and you slap it like a slap band onto your body.
I don't normally wear it, but I've got like that cute chef's hat.
I'm not.
Uh,
Yeah, the
especially
mushroom
women.
cap. Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
one.
Yep. And
All right,
and
so
I'm getting like an apron that goes over my armor that says what does it say?
God bless this mess. Bring the chef a beer. I heard chef.
No, it'll be something to do with the ancient. It's just like, yeah, you know what? It'd be something real cheesy, probably something along the lines of like "God bless this mess," but more like,
kiss the cook.
yeah, all right, fine, it's the cook. Why not?
All right,
Yep.
make your
Got a
performance
little
check.
chibi face of Kelly on it.
A
yeah.
10, Finley? That's.
I mean,
Look, people don't spit at your feet, but no one's running over to like get your autograph. People are aware that you exist.
So we gotta
you'll
get to the
see.
part. Wait
I'll
till we get to
show-
the part
We'll
where
show
you,
all of you.
where you need something tenderized. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, you've gained the attention of some of the other contestants, but when they look over at you, they're like, and some of the others just look at you blankly and nod and like fold their arms, like they might be opponents I need to keep an eye on. But no one's like, the spicy boys. I can't wait to try it. That's
If-
not a thing that happens.
If any of the contestants have like a smug grin on their face,
Yes, they do. There is
I'm
one
gonna-
lizard man who appears to be making some form of spicy gumbo that has a smug look, and it's like,
I pressed a digitation, an odd odor coming from his food.
Got him.
All right,
Yeah.
he's
Is that poop gumbo?
Finley's chopping ingredients, and I'm just bench pressing the whole thing.
so. You need 5 successes before you get 3 failures. Tell me what you got. What's the final dish, and how do you prepare it? And at any point
gotta go
during this,
first,
you
don't
can be
we?
like, "We're going to
Oh.
go kill stuff and go get food."
Yeah, I think we need to get the.
Yeah, we need to go
ingredients
kill stuff to get food. We don't really
Okay.
have them.
Yeah,
Alright.
we have to get one really big worm.
Yes.
We have to get one really big worm. Like that's
Oh.
this is what we do. It's
we
like, you know
stuff
how you get
something
you know
else to
those
kill.
fucking like comical stuffed pigs with an apple in its mouth.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
God.
that, but like a worm.
Yes.
And everyone can come up and just like grab a handful
you-
of worm flesh and just be like, ah, la, la, la.
Here's the thing,
It's
though.
like-
Can you shape the worm to be in the shape like of a Viking longship? It's like you carve out a thing and you put the rest of the food in there. Like make it
It could be like
really
one of
like
those
artistic.
sushi boats that you get at a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's also got like
You eat
all-
with your eyes first.
We're gonna
All the-
walk
all
into
the
this
worms-
cave and I'm
the
just gonna
worm
start
skin-
smacking my shield, making as much fucking noise. We need the biggest son of a bitch in here. Come on.
the worm skin is all like it's like scored, and then
Yes.
Kelly's like roasted it with the magic sword, so it's got like really crackly,
Ooh.
nice.
Has
Mm.
cloves pushed into it and stuff like a
Little cinnamon sticks coming out like oars.
Yes. Let's go kill a worm.
Yeah, well, first we gotta go talk to the mayor and tell them that we're gonna go kill this worm.
You head to the local mayoral estate, which should be, it's considerably smaller than even Rorik's residence back in Flemia. Just a large house with a second floor, the only building in Wonderslaw that exists with that. Not even a wall surrounding this location. And in the foyer, there is a butler waiting who says, "Might I inquire your presence here at the Wondersaw Manor?"
I heard you got a worm problem.
I'll hold up the notice.
"We do not have a worm problem. I believe you might have been misinformed. You wish to know about the Forsaken Cavern of Worms."
Yes, the worm problem.
The master will be available in about 30 minutes. Can wait?
We look
Okay.
forward to speaking with him about the worm problem that you seem to be having.
I will set out a selection of bread and cheeses for you.
Ooh, tiny cheeses.
So he moves you from the foray into an accompanying dining room, and I use the word dining room loosely. It's just a long wooden table with a white cloth with many stains on it that's been placed out. Wooden utensils and plates. The bread is soft and warm, but it's not particularly sugary or flavorful. It's just regular wheat bread, and some cheese slices.
Can I investigation check for the best
I was gonna
slices of
say,
cheese and pocket them?
Absolutely, please do.
We eat half of our meals sitting around a campfire, so this is fancy for us.
All right,
11. Look, you sort out, which ones are the spicy cheddars and which ones are the mild cheddars, but there is a pretty good goat cheese among it that you think you could get some serious headway on. If that's your flavor type.
I'll take some spicy and some goat and like wrap them in cloth and then put them in we're gonna stow them, use them later.
I'm also going to take some, not as much bread as I can carry, but a sizable amount of bread in the hopes that it will go stale so that I can use it for breadcrumbs.
Oh, you can find some spices and then make some spiced breadcrumb.
That's right.
We could deep fry the cheese with like breadcrumbs and have that as like a side thing.
So you are literally stealing ingredients from the mayor.
Yes.
I mean, the cheese and bread was offered.
They were offered to us. It's true.
Yeah.
Look, you have a dwarf on the party. It's entirely plausible that entire I don't want to say charcuterie board, but the whole thing is just gone. It's like, well, there is a dwarf. I mean, what I was expecting.
At this time, Vice Wondersaw appears. He is not looking as wealthy, fit, or lean as he once did.
This is the dude I tried to seduce as Kelly, right? Male Kelly.
But he was married at the time, I believe. His hair is more oily and stringy. His eyes have dark hollows under them, and his just white leather jerkin is covered in ink everywhere. His hands are stained in ink, and he's carrying some papers, and he says, "You're volunteers? No. You are not volunteers. You don't live here.
I'll hold up the notice.
Mercenaries, then?" "Nope.
Or less.
I know who you are. You are the guests of our great lord. Yes. I heard about you at the council.
And we heard you had work."
I do have work. There's not much pay, but the danger is great.
We heard you have a worm problem.
Low pay, much danger. I'm in.
We do not have a worm problem. It is the Forsaken Cavern of Worms.
So what exactly is the problem?
Nearby, there were once giant worms that roamed this land. They carved out an underground location. A series of thieves guilds used it as a training ground afterwards. They took the mud walls, reinforced it with stone and other materials. It even was a mining camp at one point in its history, from what I understand. But since then, it's fallen into disrepair. Now, it's been moved into by deserters, mostly demonic, but there are some devilish. Those who are fleeing the Demon Lord's army have found reason to set up there. They've been attacking Wondersaw for food, money, women.
And you want these gone?
Well, I was hoping to form a militia, but the number of people willing to risk their life against such dangerous opponents is small. I would indeed like them to be removed, and I can assure you, you can find some treasure in there at the very least. I know that there was some sort of large idol with rubies for eyes. We left it alone so we couldn't desecrate it, but you do not share the same respect for demons that we do, I would think. No one would look askance if a large golden idol were to disappear.
I think we can take care of this worm problem. Just leave it to us. We're the militia.
And
Arthur?
you don't want to be paid.
No, we'll be paid.
No, we'll be paid.
I can spare perhaps 200 gold pieces.
Listen, we'll also need some of your inventory of food for the cooking contest that we have entered as well. Would we be able to take what we need to make our dish from your stores?
I'm afraid our stores are quite local. You're just going to find wheat and some of the more local vegetables, and
that's all we need, just the basics, just having access to the stuff that we need, staples, etc.
You're not going to find many seasonings here, but we have eggs.
Don't worry, I proudly display my Brandolier.
Do you need chestnuts, tomatoes, and eggs? Because you're going to find a lot of that around here. And if you're looking for garlic, wild garlic grows along all the roads as part of the Free Walk Initiative.
That sounds delicious. I think
wild garlic is not as delicious as you would think.
We'll roast it. It'll tame.
Finley, we need you to grow some vegetables and make them the biggest fucking vegetables these people have ever seen.
It takes them a year to grow vegetables.
Yeah.
He enriches the...
We have 6 days.
Just use rat poo or something. Arthur,
yes.
I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Last time we were with this dude, he was fighting against the demons.
That's correct. This time he was born on the demon side of the border.
But he's human.
Correct. Still human.
But he's not 80 years old, so he's been born in this territory for...
Correct. He's lived his whole life here.
Yep.
So in the previous timeline, it was human territory that was being assaulted by demons.
It was this village, Wondersaw Village, is was the northernmost front of the war. It was in the Magnar territory, and from here you can see the Demon Lord's castle from atop its mountain location. You can just barely see it from here. In this timeline, the war has not advanced this far. Without Rorik fighting on the front lines constantly, the war has not gone as well as Magnar would like it to. And so going, this territory is on the other side. And it's not, just to be clear, it's not the only village that is on a different side this time around.
No, I get it, but we've had runs with this dude before, so.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. It definitely seems worse off this time around.
I'll give him like a look from head to toe and be like, would you like to be cleaned up?
Oh, sure. Prestidigitating it.
Daga, baiting him.
So yeah, he just brushes his hands off on his clothes and says, well, that will save me about 20 minutes of soap, so thank you.
Several hours of him just slowly combing his lustrous, humongously long hair.
No, that's not a thing.
You know, I haven't braided another man's hair in a long time.
Why are you careless whispering?
That's right.
I'm asking why.
Because Daka's bathing him in a tub and
he's not. He just gets prestidigitation.
Yeah, but magic just doesn't exist in this world, Arthur. Someone has to clean this boy. Yeah. So.
Magic exists. Magic clean this boy.
I clean everywhere except for the place I leave for Kelly.
Wow. What incredible levels of thirst wingmanning. So he brings out a bag of gold and sets down 20 gold and says 10% up front. And I will open my warehouses to you I suppose I can part with 50 gold pieces worth of ingredients.
It's a lot, actually.
That's yeah.
We have to feed a whole town, bruh.
I mean, it's a start. It's more than we got now.
I mean, one loaf of bread is, I believe, 1 copper piece. So
Yeah,
he's offering
that's-
you a lot of food for 50 gold pieces.
5,000 loaves of bread.
Hopefully the demons have pets. That way we can have meat.
Wow.
Finley, we need you to just say, get all your little animal friends, and then just turn around for 5 seconds. It'll be
Mhm.
painless. It'll be one hit right to the noggin. They won't feel a thing.
If you are
Anyway.
looking for unusually cookable animals, I do have some information about residents of the Forsaken Cavern of Worms.
Okay.
That'd be helpful.
My grandfather told me a story once about the troll pot.
Like a
Before the
But-
demon lord rose, people in these northern lands found it rich land, richer than it is now, but still sparser than the south. In order to supplement their food, they killed a troll. And as its body began regrowing, they cooked it in a pot. As the troll would regrow its arm would be cut off and put back into the pot. And then another troll would grow, and another troll. They made an eternal troll stew pot, keeping the troll in a state of constant death.
why does this sound so familiar?
I was about to say, we've
Not only have I
we've
used
done,
it before, but
okay, that would be it. Yeah.
it also exists on the internet, the Eternal Troll. And also Hydra Barbecue, which is where you keep one Hydra head alive and you cut the rest of the heads off.
That's where we heard it from.
Wait, it was in this place, wasn't it? Didn't we fight something like
You
this?
did
here?
fight a Hydra
Yeah.
at Wondersaw Village, correct?
The Hydra stew
Okay.
thing is, yeah. That's right. Okay. I thought I was thinking the same thing as Dave at the exact same moment.
There's also a chimera. I don't know what form it takes, but they said it has 3 heads and a tail. You will find a wondrous assortments of different meats. A sort of harvest blend.
I also might be thinking about
A cornucopia.
what's that fucking game? The Outer Worlds. I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, the Outer World.
that fucking washed pig factory or whatever the fuck.
Sisty pig.
Yeah. Yes.
Sisty pig, that's what it was, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, that game.
All right, spicy boys.
We got ingredients to harvest.
Spicy boys roll out.
We'll be back with your worm.
There are no worms involved here.
I'm like, right, no worms. And I like wink and brush my nose.
Whatever's in there, we'll take care of it.
So as you're leaving, the butler gives you landmark directions to a place several miles east of town where you can find the Forsaken Cavern of Worms. It is a simple door set into the side of a hill, which immediately leads down into the Wormish Caverns.
Nice.
So make sure you have someone write down that you just picked up 20 gold pieces and tell me what's happening next. Actually, why don't we go on break right now, because we're at that midpoint.
Sure.
Like
All
we're
right.
not there really quick.
I'll add this shit to the inventory. I got it open. So.
Stick around for the second half of the show, where the killing and the cleaning and the eating will begin.
We're going to kill some worms.
We're gonna eat some worms.
I'm gonna have to ironically add a worm just to surprise you.